Once upon a time, in a bustling little town, there lived a dedicated truck driver named Blink. Blink loved the open road, the hum of the engine, and the endless adventures that each journey promised. One sunny morning, Blink set off on a new delivery, his truck loaded with precious cargo. As he drove, he remembered the most important rule of the road. Road safety comes first. He checked his mirrors, buckled his seatbelt, and made sure his route was clear. It's a very interesting order to those things. As Blink cruised down the highway, his phone buzzed with notifications. He remembered the stories he had heard about the dangers of using your phone while driving. Safety first, he reminded himself. He pulled over to a rest stop, quickly responded to his text messages, and then tucked his phone away until the next break. Onward Blink drove, through fields and forests, until he reached the first toll booth of the day. He slowed down, rolled down his window, and greeted the toll booth operator with a friendly smile. He paid the toll and continued on his way, happy to contribute to the upkeep of the beautiful roads he travelled. The day turned into evening as Blink navigated through busy cities and quiet countrysides. As he drove, he thought about his friends and family back home. Sometimes, being a truck driver meant missing out on special moments, like family dinners or birthday parties. But Blink knew that his job was important, helping to deliver goods to people who needed them. With the stars twinkling above, Blink finally reached his destination. He carefully parked his truck and unloaded his cargo, feeling a sense of accomplishment wash over him. His journey had been long and sometimes challenging, but he stayed safe and vigilant, making sure to follow all the rules of the road. I'm not so sure about this story. As Blink settled down for the night in his cozy truck cab, he thought about all the adventures yet to come. He knew that with each new journey, he would carry with him the lessons of road safety, the importance of staying focused, and the value of his work. And so, with a contented sigh, Blink drifted off to sleep, dreaming of the open road and the endless possibilities that lay ahead. The end. Hope your chat enjoys it. Safe travels on the virtual road. The Gentle Stream, a bedtime story for Twitch viewers. By ChatGPT. Once upon a time, in a serene forest nestled beneath a sky of twinkling stars, this is like the last one, there lived a little bird named Tracer. Sorry if you can hear Buffy snoring. Tracer was a small, soft-feathered bluebird with a heart full of curiosity and a song as sweet as the morning dew. Every day, Tracer fluttered through the forest, exploring its many wonders, from the towering oak trees to the colourful meadows. One tranquil evening, as the sun began to set and the forest was bathed in hues of orange and pink, Tracer decided to visit her favourite spot, a gentle, sparkling stream that wound its way through the heart of the forest. The stream's waters were clear and cool, and it sang a soothing melody as it flowed over smooth pebbles and under little wooden bridges. Tracer perched on a low-hanging branch overlooking the stream. The branch was a cozy spot, surrounded by soft moss and fragrant flowers. She could hear the gentle rustling of the leaves and the distant calls of her bird friends bidding each other good night. The forest seemed to hum with a peaceful energy, readying itself for a restful slumber. As Tracer gazed at her reflection in the stream, she saw the twinkling stars begin to appear in the twilight sky. The sight filled her with a sense of wonder and tranquility. She closed her eyes and listened to the calming sounds around her. The bubbling of the stream, the soft whispers of the wind, and the occasional chirp of a cricket. Suddenly, Tracer heard a soft splash. Opening her eyes, she saw her friend, a gentle brown sparrow named Whistle, landing gracefully on a nearby rock. Whistle had a kind smile and always had the best stories to tell. "Good evening, Tracer," Whistle chirped softly. "What brings you to the stream tonight?" "I'm just enjoying the peacefulness," Tracer replied. It's the perfect place to unwind after a long day of being a bird in Overwatch. Whistle nodded in agreement. It truly is. This stream has been here for generations, a timeless source of calm for all who visit. Did you know that if you listen closely, the stream tells stories of the forest's past? Tracer tilted her head curiously. Stories? What kind of stories? Whistle settled down on the rock, his eyes twinkling with delight. Stories of old oak trees that have stood tall for centuries, of deer that once danced in the moonlight, and of the many birds who have found solace by its waters. Each ripple in the stream carries a memory, a tale whispered by the forest itself. Tracer smiled, feeling a sense of connection to the ancient forest. She closed her eyes once more, imagining the many creatures who had come before her, all finding comfort in this magical place. The thought made her feel safe and content. As the night grew darker, the moon rose high, casting a silver glow over the stream. Tracer and Whistle sat in companionable silence, letting the tranquility of the night wash over them. The gentle sound of the stream was like a lullaby, soothing and calming. Eventually, Whistle fluttered his feathers and yawned. It's getting late, Tracer. We should get some rest. Tracer nodded, feeling a warm drowsiness settling in. You're right, Whistle. Thank you for sharing the stream stories with me. Anytime, my friend. Good night, Tracer. Sweet dreams. Good night, Whistle. Tracer chirped softly. With that, Tracer tucked her head under her wing and let the gentle sounds of the forest lull her to sleep. The stream continued to sing its peaceful melody, a timeless guardian of serenity for all who sought its embrace. And so, beneath the starlit sky and beside the gentle stream, Tracer and her friends drifted into a deep, restful sleep, dreaming of the forest's many wonders and the endless stories yet to be told. Good night, dear viewers. May your dreams be as calm and peaceful as the gentle stream and the quiet forest. Sleep well. The Whispering Meadow. In a faraway land, nestled between rolling hills and a shimmering blue lake, there was a meadow known as the Whispering Meadow. This meadow was no ordinary field. It was a place where the grass sang gentle lullabies and the flowers told tales of dreams, whatever that means. Every evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, the Whispering Meadow came alive with a soft, magical glow. Fireflies danced in the twilight, their tiny lights flickering like stars that had come down to play. The breeze carried the sweet scent of wildflowers, and the air was filled with a melody so soothing that anyone who heard it felt their worries melt away. If you can picture that sound. In this enchanted meadow lived a little bunny named Luna. Luna had fur as white as snow and eyes that sparkled like the night sky. She loved to explore the meadow, hopping from one colourful patch of flowers to another, listening to their stories. One quiet evening, as the fireflies began their nightly dance, Luna found a patch of especially vibrant flowers. She nestled into the soft grass, her ears perked up to listen. The flowers began to whisper, weaving a tale of a magical garden where the moon never waned and the stars hung low enough to touch. Tell me more, Luna whispered back, her voice filled with wonder. The flowers continued their tale, speaking of a wise old owl named Orion, who watched over the garden. Orion, with his vast wings and knowing eyes, would tell stories of the universe to anyone who visited. He knew the secrets of the stars and the moon's lullabies, and his voice was as soothing as a gentle stream. Luna's eyes grew heavy as the flowers' whispers mingled with the soft rustling of the leaves. She imagined herself in the magical garden, listening to Orion's stories, feeling the soft glow of the eternal moon on her fur. As she drifted off to sleep, the meadow around her hummed a gentle tune. The fireflies' lights grew dim, and the flowers' whispers faded into the night. The stars above twinkled softly as if wishing Luna sweet dreams. And so, in the heart of the Whispering Meadow, under a sky filled with dreams, Luna slept peacefully, her heart full of the magic and wonder of the stories she had heard. May you too find peace and dreams as sweet as Luna's. Good night, dear friends. Once upon a time, in a land not so far from here, there was a bustling zoo filled with the happiest animals one could imagine. The zoo was no ordinary zoo. It was an ooey zoo, for it was built entirely out of colourful Lego bricks. The animals lived in vibrant habitats, each one crafted with the utmost care and creativity. One warm evening, as the stars began to twinkle in the sky, the zookeeper, a kind-hearted woman named Ella, decided to do something extraordinary. She wanted to bring a touch of magic to the zoo, so she planned a special event called the Era's Tour of the Animals. Each animal would showcase a unique outfit change that represented different eras. The first to grace the stage was Leo the lion. Oh my god. He strutted proudly, his mane adorned with shimmering jewels from the medieval era, reminiscent of a noble king. The audience clapped and cheered as Leo roared in delight, his golden mane sparkling under the twinkling fairy lights. Next came Penelope the peacock, flaunting her magnificent tail feathers that glowed with the neon colours of the 1980s. She danced gracefully, her feathers swaying rhythmically into the soft music that filled the air. The children watched in awe, mesmerized by her radiant beauty. In a cozy corner of the zoo, there was a little coop where the chickens rested. That night, the chickens decided to join in the fun. Clucky, the bravest of them all, emerged wearing a charming outfit made of tiny, pastel-coloured Lego bricks. She represented the Victorian era, with a tiny bonnet perched atop her head. Clucky clucked proudly, and her fellow chickens clapped their wings in appreciation. Nearby, there was a special exhibit that always fascinated visitors, the Dino Gardens. This garden was filled with life-size Lego dinosaurs, each one carefully crafted to look as if they had just stepped out of prehistoric. The star of the Dino Garden was Benny the Brontosaurus, a gentle giant with a heart as big as his long neck. Tonight, Benny was dressed in an outfit that paid homage to the roaring 20s, complete with bow tie and a straw bow to hat. He moved slowly and gracefully, his Lego body glistening under the moonlight. Not far from Benny's exhibit was a lush bean field, tended by the zoo's resident gardener, Max. This was no ordinary bean field. It was a magical one, where beans could grow into towering beanstalks overnight. Max had a little secret. He often talked to the beans, sharing stories and dreams. The beans, in turn, grew strong and tall, their leaves rustling softly as if whispering back to Max. As the night grew darker, the zoo transformed into a scene of pure enchantment. The gentle breeze carried the soft melodies of lullabies, and the stars twinkled like diamonds scattered across a velvet sky. The animals, dressed in their era-themed outfits, gathered around a cozy bonfire built entirely out of glowing Lego bricks. They shared stories and dreams, their hearts content, and their spirits at peace. Ella the zookeeper looked around with a smile, feeling the warmth of the night and the joy of the animals. She knew that this magical night would be remembered by all. As the last story was told and the final song was sung, the animals slowly began to drift off to sleep, their dreams filled with colourful adventures and timeless memories. Back in Harmony Valley, Lily finished her story. The villagers, now relaxed and serene, thanked her for the beautiful tale. One by one, they made their way home, their hearts light and their minds at ease. As they settled into their beds, they could almost hear the soft clucking of Clucky, the rustle of Leo's jeweled mane, the graceful swish of Penelope's feathers, and the gentle rustling of the magic bean field. Lily smiled to herself as she watched the moon rise higher in the sky. She knew that in Harmony Valley, and perhaps even beyond, her story had brought a touch of magic and a peaceful night to all. And so, with the stars shining brightly and the world at rest, Harmony Valley fell into a deep, peaceful sleep, dreaming of Lego zoos, enchanting outfits, towering beanstalks, and the gentle lull of bedtime stories. Good night, everyone. May your dreams be filled with magic and wonder, and may you wake up refreshed and ready for a new day. Sweet dreams. Once upon a time, in a cozy little town nestled between rolling hills and whispering forests, there lived a cheerful dog named Buffy. Buffy had a soft black coat and big, soulful eyes that sparkled with kindness. Everybody in town loved Buffy, for she had a knack for bringing joy and comfort to anyone who needed it. One peaceful evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and painted the sky in hues of orange and pink, Buffy trotted down the cobblestone streets towards her favourite spot, the local KFC. The tantalising aroma of Colonel Sanders' secret recipe filled the air, and Buffy's tail wagged in excitement. She loved visiting KFC, not just for delicious chicken, but because it was where her dear friend Senpai worked. Senpai was a kind and gentle soul, known for his wisdom and serene demeanour. He had a special way of making everyone feel important and valued. As Buffy approached the KFC, Senpai was finishing up his shift. He spotted Buffy and greeted her with a warm smile and a gentle pat on the head. "Hello, Buffy," Senpai said softly. "What brings you here this lovely evening?" Buffy barked and nudged Senpai's hand with her nose. She loved spending time with him, and tonight was no different. Senpai chuckled and said, "How about we take a little walk? The night is still young and the air is so refreshing." Buffy barked in agreement, and the two friends set off towards the nearby forest. The path was lined with tall, ancient trees that seemed to whisper secrets to the stars. The moonlight filtered through the leaves, causing a gentle glow on the ground. Buffy and Senpai walked side by side, enjoying the peaceful sounds of the night. As they walked, Senpai told Buffy stories of his own adventures, tales filled with laughter, and lessons learned. Buffy listened attentively, her eyes wide with wonder. She loved how Senpai's voice was like a soothing melody, calming and reassuring. Eventually, they reached a small clearing with a gentle stream, babbling quietly. They sat down on a soft patch of grass, and Senpai took out a small box from his pocket. Inside, there were some treats from KFC, specially packed for Buffy. Her eyes lit up with delight as she munched on the tasty snacks. "Buffy," Senpai said, looking up at the twinkling stars, "you remind me of the constellations, always shining brightly, bringing light to even the darkest of nights." Buffy nuzzled Senpai's hand, her heart filled with warmth and contentment. She felt so lucky to have a friend like Senpai, someone who understood her and appreciated her just the way she was. As the night grew deeper, the gentle lull of the stream and the soft rustling of leaves lulled Buffy into a peaceful slumber. Senpai smiled, watching over his loyal friend, feeling gratitude for the simple yet profound moments they shared. And so, under the watchful eyes of the moon and the stars, Buffy and Senpai drifted into dreams filled with adventures, comforted by the knowledge that they would always have each other. Sweet dreams to you and your chat. Have a restful night. Bwink's Hair Mishap. The Tale of Bwink and the Snail's Secret. Don't laugh. Once upon a time, in a quaint, peaceful village nestled between rolling green hills, there lived a young girl named Bwink. Bwink was known for her bright, curious eyes and her boundless kindness. She had a special friend named Sammy, a little snail with a shimmering shell that glowed under the moonlight. One sunny morning, Bwink decided it was time for a fresh look. She skipped over to the village barber, Mr. Harrion, who was famous for his perfect haircuts. "Just a trim, please," Bwink said with a smile. "Just a trim, please," settling into the old wooden chair. Mr. Harlan nodded and began snipping away. Oh God, where am I? But today, something was different. The scissors seemed to have a mind of their own, and before they knew it, a small gust of wind blew through the open window, causing Mr. Harlan's hand to slip. Snip! A large chunk of Bwink's hair fell to the floor. "Oh no!" exclaimed Mr. Harlan, his face turning pale. "I'm so sorry, Bwink. This has never happened before." Bwink looked in the mirror and saw her uneven hair. It was a haircut gone wrong, but she just smiled. "It's okay, Mr. Harlan. Hair grows back, and maybe this new look will be fun." Bwink's positivity was contagious, and soon enough she was on her way home, her lopsided hair bouncing as she walked. Her lopsided hair bouncing as she walked. Along the path, she met her friend Sammy the Snail, who was slowly making his way through the garden. "Hello, Bwink," Sammy greeted her with his usual slow, deliberate voice. "What happened to your hair?" Bwink laughed and sat down beside Sammy. "I had a little mishap at the barber's. What do you think?" Sammy examined her hair carefully. The snail did. Okay. I guess with his eyes. "I think it looks unique. Sometimes things that don't go as planned can lead to the best adventures." As the sun set and the sky turned into hues of As the sun set and the sky turned to hues of pink and orange, Bwink and Sammy continued their stroll, enjoying the beauty of the evening. Suddenly, they stumbled upon a hidden grove they had never seen before. A haircut unlocked it. In the center of the grove was an enormous ancient tree with sparkling leaves. Curious, Bwink and Sammy approached the tree. To their surprise, the tree began to speak in a gentle, soothing voice. "Welcome, Bwink and Sammy. I am the Tree of Whispers. I see you had a little trouble with your haircut." Bwink. Bwink nodded, still in awe of the talking tree. "Oh. Yes, but it's all right. I'm just happy to be here with my friend, the snail." The Tree of Whispers chuckled softly. The Tree of Whispers chuckled softly. I'm not going to do it. "You have a kind heart, Bwink. As a token of my appreciation for your positivity and friendship, I have a gift for both of you." From the tree's branches, a small glowing seed floated down and landed in Bwink's hand. "This is a seed of dreams. Plant it in your garden and it will grow into something wonderful that will always remind you of the magic of friendship and unexpected adventures." Bwink and Sammy thanked the tree and carefully carried the seed of dreams back to Bwink's garden. They planted it together under the moonlight of the light of the full moon. As they watered the seed, it began to sprout immediately, growing into a beautiful flower with petals that shimmered like Sammy's shell. From that day on, Bwink's garden was the talk of the village, and her unique haircut became a symbol of her adventurous spirit. She kept I'll have the usual, please. Her unique haircut became a symbol of her adventurous spirit, Every evening, she and Sammy would visit the magical flower, reminding them both that sometimes the most enchanting experiences can come from unexpected moments. And so, Wing and Sammy continued to explore the world around them, knowing that no matter what happened, they would always have each other and the magic of their shared adventures. The end. Archie's nighttime adventure. In a cozy little town nestled between rolling hills and a dense forest, lived a peculiar and friendly pregnant rake named Archie. Archie was well loved by everyone in town for his kind heart, and adventurous spirit. As the night fell on Spooky Wednesday, Archie felt a strange craving. Beans, he muttered to himself. I need to find some beans. So off Archie went, waddling through the moonlit forest, her round belly gently swaying. The forest was alive with nocturnal sounds, crickets chirping, owls hooting, and the occasional rustle of leaves. Archie knew the perfect place to find beans was old Farmer Jed's garden, known for its delicious vegetables and, of course, beans. As he approached the garden, Archie noticed something unusual. The garden gate was open, and inside, among the rows of beans, stood a group of dinosaurs. They were small and feathered, not much larger than chickens. And they clucked and pecked at the ground, just like them. Chickens? Archie whispered in surprise, rubbing his eyes to make sure he wasn't dreaming. But no, those were definitely tiny dinosaurs, and they seemed to be having a grand time exploring the garden. Excuse me, Archie called out, stepping closer. The dinosaurs turned their heads, their bright eyes gleaming in the moonlight. I'm looking for some beans. Do you happen to know where I can find them? A particularly blacky dinosaur, with feathers as bright as autumn leaves, stepped forwards. I'm Rex, he introduced himself. We're here for the same reason. We heard this garden has the best beans. Archie chuckled. Well, let's find some together then. With Rex leading the way, the unusual group searched the garden. They found the bean plants, heavy with ripe pods, and began gathering them. As they worked, Archie shared stories of his adventures and listened to the dinosaurs' tales of a hidden valley where they lived. A place untouched by time and full of wonders. The night passed quickly, filled with laughter and the rustling of beans. When their baskets were full, Archie and his new friends sat under an old oak tree, munching on beans and enjoying a wonderful night. Thank you for helping me, Archie said, his eyes twinkling. This has been the most exciting Spooky Wednesday ever. Rex and the other dinosaurs nodded in agreement. We should meet again, Rex suggested, and maybe you can visit our hidden valley sometime. Archie smiled, feeling a warmth in his heart. I like that very much, he said. As the first light of dawn began to creep over the horizon, Archie and the dinosaurs said their goodbyes. Archie waddled back to his cozy home, his heart full and his belly satisfied. He nestled into his soft bed, dreaming of beans, dinosaurs, and the wonderful new friends that he'd made. And so, as the town of Moonlit Hollow, I don't think it was named that at the start, began to wake, Archie slept soundly, knowing that sometimes the most magical of adventures happen when you least expect them. Sweet dreams. Once upon a time, in the magical kingdom of Hyrule, Halloween was the most enchanting time of the year. The crisp autumn air carried the scent of pumpkins, and the leaves painted the forests in vibrant hues of orange and gold. In this wondrous land, where legends lived and heroes thrived, there was a small, hidden village known as Fairy Hollow. Fairy Hollow was a mystical place nestled deep within the Kokiri forest. Here, fairies flitted about like twinkling stars, their laughter echoing through the trees. On Halloween night, Fairy Hollow was more magical than ever. For it was a time when the veil between worlds was the thinnest, and ancient legends came to life. Zelda, the wise and kind princess of Hyrule, decided to visit Fairy Hollow this Halloween. She had heard tales of a special fairy named Lumina, whose magic was said to be the brightest in the land. Lumina had the ability to create the most beautiful Halloween light displays, illuminating the forest with a warm golden glow. As Zelda entered the forest, she felt a sense of wonder wash over her. The trees were adorned with glowing pumpkins, and tiny glowing creatures danced in the air. The fairies, with their delicate wings and shimmering auras, welcomed Zelda with open arms. Among them was Lumina, her presence radiant and her smile warm. "Welcome, Princess Zelda," Lumina said, her voice as soft as a gentle breeze. "We are honored to have you here on this magical night." Zelda smiled, her heart lightened by the fairy's kindness. "Thank you, Lumina. I've heard so much about the Halloween celebrations in Fairy Hollow. I couldn't resist seeing it for myself." Lumina led Zelda to a clearing in the forest, where a grand celebration was taking place. Fairies and forest creatures gathered around, their eyes wide with anticipation. In the center of the clearing stood a massive ancient tree with a hollow trunk, glowing softly from within. This was the Heart Tree, the source of Fairy Hollow's magic. With a wave of her hand, Lumina summoned her magic, and the clearing was transformed. The air was filled with sparkling lights, and the Heart Tree began to pulse with a warm golden light. The fairies danced around the tree, their laughter mingling with the sound of rustling leaves. It was a sight of pure enchantment. As the night went on, Zelda joined in the festivities, dancing with fairies and sharing stories of her adventures. She felt a deep sense of peace and joy, surrounded by the magic of Fairy Hollow. The fairies, in turn, were fascinated by Zelda's tales of bravery and courage, and they admired her for her wisdom and kindness. When the celebration came to an end, Lumina approached Zelda with a small glowing jar. Inside, a single fairy light twinkled brightly. "This is for you, Princess," Lumina said. "A piece of our magic to remind you of this night. Whenever you feel lost or in need of a little light, let this guide you." Zelda accepted the gift with gratitude, her heart full of warmth. "Thank you, Lumina. This night has been truly magical, and I'll cherish this gift always." As Zelda made her way back to Hyrule Castle, she carried the glowing jar with her, its light illuminating her path. She knew that the magic of Fairy Hollow would always be with her, a reminder of the beauty and wonder that existed in the world. And so, on that special Halloween night, the bond between Hyrule and Fairy Hollow grew stronger, a testament to the magic that can be found in friendship and the light that shines in the darkest of times. Good night, dear friends. May your dreams be filled with magic, and may the light of the fairies guide you always.